Hello, my friends, and welcome to another episode of my kitchen table reflection. It is the 20th Sunday in the ordinary time. Now, I believe that one of the strong teachings of the Bible is for us to increase and expand our circle of inclusion. We see this play all over the place in the Bible. You see, when we go back to the Old Testament, Abraham received a word from God, and God said to Abraham, I'm going to make you a father of many nations. Now, this nation is not going to be for itself. This nation is going to be for other people too. So there's this expansive, inclusive view of this nation. And so when we hear from Prophet Isaiah in our first reading that foreigners who obey the commands of God we worship on the holy mountain, there is a sense of inclusion that involves foreigners who are not Jewish. And so when we come to New Testament, we see this reflected all over the place in the teachings of Jesus. And today's gospel reading from the Gospel of Matthew is not an exception. Actually, it's a very confronting passage from the Gospel of Matthew today. Now, the passage began by saying that Jesus left Gennesaret and withdrew to the region of Tyre and Sidon. Now, as he did that, a woman, a Canaanite woman, came shouting to Jesus. She said, Jesus, Sir, Son of David, have pity on me. My daughter is being tormented by a demon. As she called Jesus Son of David, Jesus kind of didn't respond to her. Jesus kept going, and as she kept shouting, the disciples of Jesus were like, well, Jesus, can you do something about this woman? She's pretty much disturbing us. I mean, she's actually disrupting your mission. You are on for something here, and this woman keeps shouting and coming after you. Can you just, deal with her and get on with your business? But Jesus didn't do anything. Jesus kept walking where he was going. And this woman then rushed and came in front of Jesus and knelt before him and asked Jesus to help her. This woman persisted, but Jesus says something very interesting here. I mean, it's actually very uncomfortable for you to hear that. Jesus said, I have come for the lost sheep of the house of Israel, which means that Jesus was typically saying to this woman, I have come for the people of Israel, for the Jewish people. I don't really have time for you, this woman who has come from the region of Tyre and Sidon, this Canaanite woman. I don't really have time for you. Or does he? You see, this is where it became very dramatic, because this woman didn't even care. This woman persisted, and then Jesus says something utterly crazy. We would think. Jesus said, well, it is not good to throw children's food to a dog. And if you're like me wondering, did Jesus just call this woman asking for his help a dog? Yep. but this is where the story kind of turned around. This woman's response would utterly blow your mind away. This man said, yeah, master, even dogs could eat the crumbs that fell from their master's table. It's like this man is saying, I'm not giving in. I'm not budging to that kind of insult. I'm going to persist because I know what I want. Now, a couple of things. There are a lot of things going on here. A lot. We can see some kind of status supremacy going on here, displays in some kind of racial drama. I mean, this woman has come from the region of Tyre and Sidon, and it is good for me to give a bit of a context to understand what is going on here. Now, Tyre and Sidon, these people, these Canaanite people, they are considered to be pagans. Do you know why? Because there is this big rift between them and the Jewish people. There is this kind of hatred. That's why the Jewish people don't want to do anything with those whom they consider pagans, like every other person who is not Jewish. So this Canaanite woman included. Now, the riff actually goes back to Noah in the Bible. You know Noah, yeah? Noah's boat, yep. Noah in the Bible. Now, the Bible tells us that one day, this was after Noah has had his boat trip, with, a couple of households and some animals. Now, after that incident, one day, Noah got so drunk that he fell asleep. And as he fell asleep naked. Yeah, he fell asleep naked. Now, his eldest son, Ham, came in and saw his dad sleeping naked, and he told his brothers, and then they got a cloth and covered their dad. And so when Noah, their dad, woke up and realized what had happened, he got really upset about it, because it is against the law for your children to see your nakedness. And so for his child Ham to cover him means that he has seen him naked. And so Noah cursed Ham, his eldest son. He cursed him. And during this time, it's all about your father's blessing. But if your father didn't bless you and instead cursed you, it means that curse kind of hover over your head like a dark cloud. So Ham was cursed, which means that his children were cursed, beginning with his oldest son, Canaan. You see where this story is going. So Ham is cursed, which means his oldest son, Canaan, was also cursed. And so Canaan, has so many children, which means that his eldest son, Sidon, was also cursed. Yet, Noah cursed Ham, which means that his oldest son, Canaan, was cursed, which means that Canaan's oldest son, Sidon, was cursed. Now, the thing is that Sidon had so many children that eventually became a nation. They became this massive nation. That's why they are called the people of Canaan, because this goes back. The people of Sidon, this goes back. They became a big nation to a point that they began even to fight with the people of Israel, the Jewish people. They began to fight with them. There are lots of wars about them. Now, in this story, we can see why there is a big rift between them. The Jewish people don't regard them as anything. They call them pagans. They don't believe in their God. They don't have the same culture. They're totally different from their way of life. So they regard them as pagan. And so they call them dogs. Yes, they call them dogs. So when Jesus called this woman or referred to her as a dog, Jesus was actually tapping into the very language that the people of his time were used to, the language that they used to address people of Canaan. And so when you hear something like that, you're like, wow, why would Jesus call this woman a dog? I don't know. But the context actually paints a little bit of a picture there for you to understand. Now, maybe Jesus was pretty much tired, spending long hours on the road and having so many people coming to him asking for help or asking for healing. I don't know, maybe he got tired and he got grumpy and he referred to this woman as a dog. Actually, if you look closely to the Greek word used there, it's a diminutive, kind of a puppy that Jesus, used. So that may say that Jesus kind of softened the blow. But I don't know why he called this woman a dog. I don't know. Maybe this woman is trying to remind Jesus that his mission is not just for the Jewish people, but includes every other person. Maybe, I don't know. Or maybe Jesus was just playing along, using the kind of word that the people of his town were pretty much uttering or mumbling under their breath without even saying it out. When they see people from the region of Tyre and Sidon, they probably say, oh, dogs, here they come. Maybe Jesus was using that some word to actually play along, so that the people will think, oh, he's on our side, he's our Messiah. He's only here for the house of Israel. Maybe he's playing along the lines to make people think, oh, he's on our side, only to turn the table around. Because what you hear next is that when this woman responded to Jesus that dogs could eat the crumbs that fall from their master's table, Jesus was amazed. Jesus said, oh, you've got a great faith. Let it be done according to your will. So Jesus actually granted this woman what she desperately was demanding, so that the daughter could be free. And at that instant, her daughter was freed of the demonic possession in her. You see, Jesus maybe played along the lines that were comfortable with his people, only to turn the table around and made the woman the center of his story. He brought an outsider to the middle, to the center of his story, and he made this woman considered to be a villain, a dog, the hero of the story, portraying this woman as someone who has great faith in the midst of all the people who have gathered there. You see, friends, Richard Ross said that, growing up, we move from self-care to family care or group care or tribal care to universal care. But the problem is most people don't go as far as group care, tribal care, family care. You grow up, you're so much interested in your self-care, how to take care of yourself. And at some point in your life, you begin to probably care for your family, your group, your country, my tribe, my race. Yeah. But the problem is that many people get stuck there, thinking that, that's all they need. And this is the root of racism. This is the root of discrimination. This is the root where we shut down from seeing other people because we don't want to open our heart for universal care. And this is the problem in our world today. You see, friends, in this story, Jesus actually played along the racism of his time, but he corrected himself when this woman persisted, and he allowed himself to be shamed so that he could teach the people what their mission is all about, what their calling is all about, which is to include everyone, to expand their circle of inclusion, and to see that God is even working through the people whom they might call a dog. Is this you? You have so grown used to how your life is and how you're comfortable in your tribe, in your group, that you look down on other people. You see people from other culture, from other belief, from other traditions. You call them names that pretty much means a dog. Maybe this is a calling for us to open our hearts to see that even those people, there is the goodness of God working in them, just as the goodness of God is working in you. Because whether you like it, they still have the divine DNA just as you. This is why we are called to expand our circle of inclusion. Richard Ross said that once we start labeling people, we stop seeing them. There is a way we can go beyond the labeling that our society throws at us today to begin to see people, see them for who they truly are. We all are children of God. Nobody is born a racist. We learn racism. And if you can learn it, we can learn how to unlearn it by loving our neighbor and seeing the dignity in them. And I pray for you, my friends. May you experience some kind of transcendence in your life through Christ our Lord. Amen.